I've not seen this, so we're watching this together as friends on the internet.
Let me talk about the Starlink thing. So I'm sort of in between places right now. I am packed up. I've discarded all of my everything that I'm not taking with me is gone. And I had to find a very annoyingly I had to find a place in between um, packing up and leaving. And the place that I found had advertised fast internet, and of course it was not fast internet. So I tried to set up the Starlink again. Big pain in the ass. Just find some place to put it on the roof or whatever. Get a maintenance man to help. And then when I did, I it didn't work. And it had worked before, and I was almost 100% convinced that I had broken it in the move at some point. However, upon further inspection, I came to the conclusion that there was a faulty temperature sensor in either the Starlink or the power supply unit, which is the second box that you plug everything into. And it was reading that this device, both the device, the power supply unit, and the Starlink were too hot. And it said it warned it was throttling the devices in order to keep it from having a catastrophic heat related failure. But it's been cold the last week. Not quite freezing, but cold. And I would go out and I would touch the device, and I would touch the power supply brick, and it would be cool. It would be cool to the touch. And it's like there's no way that this is overheating, because I looked it up and people were complaining that their devices were actually hot to the touch when they were receiving these errors. So I spent a full day, like 16 hours, trying to reposition it, cleaning it, tampering with the wires, trying to make sure that they weren't bending incorrectly, putting the power supply unit outside where it was cooler on like a table, and then bringing it inside and with it nonstop. And I came to the conclusion that there was a faulty sensor. So I wrote the customer support, and as I was doing diagnostics, I continued to supply more information. Very succinct, very succinct. This doesn't work. This doesn't work. And then I got a reply from a woman that I am 100% convinced is black. And I base this entirely off her name. It's almost certainly a black woman just based off the name. I've never met a white woman with this name. Um, I've never met anyone not American with this name, so I was pretty convinced it was a black woman. And I had written probably over 12 hours. Actually, it was like a full day, because I started doing diagnostics on like Wednesday, and the ticket got answered on Saturday. So it was like over 24 hours. And I had written like, okay, this doesn't work. This works. I'm seeing this notice, so I'm pretty sure there's a neighboring device that has this, and I wrote out full details and I said I am 100% certain that it's the power diagnostic system that is falsely reporting a temperature reading that is incorrect. And if you can reset it from your side, because the Starlink device is definitely one of those new Internet of Things thing where it's like we don't trust you to touch anything. It's proprietary software. We can access it remotely. Go yourself if you want to actually get any diagnostic information. So I said, if you can reset this remotely, this temperature gauge, it would probably fix everything immediately. And Janiqua comes back at me, and the first thing she says is, "Have you checked for obstructions?" And that was the very first thing I said. Is like, I'm 100% sure there are no obstructions. I don't know why there are red dots everywhere. Like, if you look at the obstruction map, it's red dots straight up, like above it. Like, I know that the sky is fucking clear above this device. It's not under a hanger or something. It's on a roof. So it can't possibly be obstructed in this way. And doesn't make sense. How is there one red dot right above it if there's no connection to the horizon? Like, that's not how things don't just exist like in Minecraft with block structures just floating around in the sky. So I'm like, I know it's not obstructed. I took a picture, I sent it to her, said I'm 100% sure it's not obstructed. And then she said, I see a flag for an overheated power supply unit. Have you made sure that it's not next to a vent? And it's like, that was the second thing I said to her. And before she answered my ticket, like, yeah, I know it's saying that. I see it on my dashboard. It's cool to the touch. Here's a picture of it. And I'm showing you that it's like not hot. It's out in it's perfectly ventilated. She said, well, just because it don't feel hot, don't mean that it ain't hot, because it can be on the inside. So I again explained in words a child can understand that there's neighboring devices that I can test it by. Those are standard old devices, so they don't work for streaming purposes. But I say I'm 100% convinced that this works. And she says, well, if your neighbor's device works so well, why don't you use that? I'm like, I'm paying Elon Musk, a billionaire, $250 a month so that my flat high performance dish connects to the internet and lets me stream. And then she said, okay, well, she just immediately closed out the ticket and RMA'd my power supply unit. Her diagnostic was finalized immediately. So, okay, the power device is wrong. We're going to send this to your shipping address. My shipping address is in Florida. It's a remail address. And I said, wait, hold up. There's an EMAG place right across the border. I can take a bus. I can take an Uber from here to another country and pick this up at one of your authorized retailers if you can arrange that. And she said, we don't do that. Shipping, expedited your shipping, and it'll be there by December 12th in Florida. I'm like, well, that doesn't help. So I gave up. I just said, okay, I'm buck broken. I'm gonna have to record my final message, before I leave, and say my thoughts that way. And it won't be as fun. It won't be as awesome. But that's just what I'm gonna have to do. And then I had after sleeping it off, I checked my device. And at some point, hours after that ticket had closed, and a couple hours before I woke up, um, it was perfectly functional. All the obstructions had gone. It went from like 30% obstructed to less than half a percent obstructed. The signal strength went from 30% to 50%, fluctuating to 100%. The temperature warnings were both gone. Everything was fine. And I thought, I know exactly what happened. They they had a regular CSR rep go through the flow sheet with me, and then because because she closed out the ticket like she did, or I reopened it to say like, wait, hold up a second, like, can you not send it to Florida? Something triggered and had it go up to a white man, or perhaps even a Chinese person. And the Chinese person went, oh, actually, Shaniqua, you can press the reset temperature calibration button right here, and it will fix that faulty sensor. And I think that's what happened, because there is a set point in time I can pull up, like the Starlink actually logs every single time that there's an obstruction that causes the router to have to reconnect to a satellite, and it drops the internet during that time. So they can see a log of when obstructions are causing impacts. And if I bring up the log, I can see a zero point 0.1 second or greater obstruction almost every couple of minutes for days, up until that exact minute where everything is fixed. So there is an exact moment where somebody somewhere pressed a button to fix something, and now I'm going to get a free power brick from Starlink. So just a genuinely horrific experience. I'm not gonna lie, like gut wrenching, disgusting, nauseating, heartbreaking, physically intensive. Having to with everything over and over again, replug everything, go up the roof, up 2 flights of stairs over and over again. It was just an awful, awful fucking experience. But um, having a week where I can stream before I take my break was worth it. So. That's stupid.